So good afternoon. This, of course, is Justice's Waiting Room. It is a little after 1:45 p.m. Eastern. Again, one of those things that I'll try to say is like, as long as I'm doing this, so good afternoon. I use Blue Sky. So if you're looking to follow me on social media, the good news is there's only one place to do that. Okay? If you're just gotta have it, man, your name, where to find you. Okay. My name is Jared Malott. You will see me use the name Likely Alien all over the place. Okay. I am a data analytics student in my last year at Purdue University. So, boiler up. I'm also just put in for information for the Transition to Teaching program. That is an online course offered through Purdue for secondary education. My intent is to be a STEM teacher, as my degree is in data analytics, which a STEM degree and a teaching certification generally means you can teach STEM courses. At least that's what I was made aware of. I'm not interested in attending another program. Um, I did want to put this up. So 2024 U.S. Selection Certification. Here's where I would get that information. EAC.gov. And remember, okay. Um, so yeah, I was typing a message to my chat. It's a Discord channel. So let me invite everybody in the podcast chat to the Discord channel. It's the not so good info on the Electoral College. So that's what I kind of said. Like, okay, so Electoral College. Again, I don't know what we expected. I don't think we'll actually know the results. I've seen I posted the EAC.gov stuff. Okay. I know a lot of people are like, "Where's the tracker?" And it's just like, hmm. Yes, yes, it did. Yes, it did. And again, I'm trying to. I don't know if we talked about this. Republican House majority in peril. Did we talk about that earlier? Hey. Good afternoon. Hey, Dakota. So yeah, I wanted to go live because I was getting a sense, kind of flipping through social media that people were like, what, it's like they're kicking, imagine like a bubble words and it says electoral college and it's just like sitting on the ground like a balloon and just people keep kicking it and expecting it to like do something. Um I don't think that's how that works. But I did pass along the EAC information. You're more than welcome to go to that. But like 2024 U.S. Electoral College vote live. Okay, so 270 to win for the record has college meets Tuesday. So yeah, I want to make sure Electoral College meets today to cast their presidential vote. Here's what I see. Okay. It shows Donald Trump's at 145, Harris is at 87. And this is what I saw earlier. And you see a lot of these meeting times are as late as like 7 p.m. So for the record, this 270towin.com. I don't see. Here's what I thought. Okay, I thought you submitted your votes today and they were read on January 6th. I didn't actually think the public would know today. Like there would, I didn't. The fact that this exists, 270 to win, and shows Trump at 145, Harris at 87. It says it'll be updated as information's added. Again, I don't want to get into the business of spreading propaganda because I don't know if this information is even supposed to be public. So that's why I posted that link to 270 to win because I'd seen it earlier and I was kind of like, I don't know. Here. And it does not show what is it currently? Is it 331 to 226 or something like that? Which is what it is currently supposed to say. Okay. So it says the map will populate as the results become available. If all electors vote as pledged, Donald Trump will receive 312, while Kamala Harris will receive 226. Any deviations, i.e., faithless electors, will be mentioned in the notes below the map. And here, yeah. So again, I'm with you. I'm with you. But I'm also gonna tell you, I don't know. So I'm not sitting here asserting that the outcome of this is going to be anything other than the 312 226. I can just say I don't know. I don't look at this. Like here, like I was looking at this when I was kind of like, what the fuck is this? Here's what I was looking at that made me do that. Look at this. I don't know what this is. This is like the day before the election, but it's like, look at this. Is this weird? Look at this. I'm posting it in the links. I'll post it in the chat. I don't know. It caught me up where I was like, wait, what the fuck? So, again, I know I'm putting out weird links, but like the 270 to win, the one that's showing like an updated chart and it says Trump 145, Harris 87, and like, click it every now and then. No, you know what I mean? Like, and I guess the next one, it looks like, what time is it? 1:58. So who's at 2 p.m.? Oh, they already did it. Okay. Oh, that's not updated. Uh, DC was at 2. Okay. I wouldn't say. I mean, yeah, I guess, because the last one I think is at 7 p.m. Hawaii is at 7 p.m. This is, of course, assuming Eastern Standard Time. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Eastern Standard Time. So I don't know. Here's part of the reason. Like, I was like, I should go live because I don't want the people that are my followers to sit around all day and be like, are we waiting on something? I don't know that we are. I don't know that, like, is it, and remember, we talk about being reticent, right? About, that was, yes, I agree with you, May. The expectation this won't change. Yeah, I had said in my video this morning I anticipate a certification 312 to 226. Okay, because we were spiraling. Yes. So I didn't want y'all sitting there. Listen, I would never mislead you. Do you understand? I would never give you false fucking hope. So I would not have you sit here all day thinking there's a ticker somewhere, people are gonna go fucking rogue, vote fucking Democrat when their state didn't do that shit. No, 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 no. That would actually be misleading and mistreating your fucking audience. Like, I should be here to tell you, like, hey, I'm not expecting fucking fireworks. I never fucking said that. I hope I didn't give you the impression. Like, the content I made this morning was more like, what the fuck was that from AOC? Like, I feel like I didn't. Okay, I feel like I'm making excuses for my behavior. I posted the shit about AOC making a big deal out of apparently her fucking vote today. When I didn't actually know that she was in a vote yesterday. So think about it. Like, I'm kind of a fan. I didn't actually know she was in a vote yesterday. And then last night she posted all this shit. It's like all caps and shit, replying to herself a couple times. Like, that felt like mixed messaging. And maybe it was meant to stir the pot. Maybe it was a complete smokescreen. Maybe she just really felt like she had a fucking chance today. From my understanding, I don't know that she won. Let's confirm that. Did AOC win today? 49 minutes ago. Okay. From ABC News. Yeah, no, this is taking care of your herd. This is exactly what this is. Okay. Here's AOC apparently lost to this Jerry Connolly, this dumb-looking white boy. Okay. Well, and again, when you're trying to be honest with your audience, a lot of people will start to get away with some shit. And they will have earned the trust of their audience and then feel like you can hoodwink them, right? And so I'm gonna be cognizant of that a lot of people that don't bother to check in and regularly say like, hey, I'm trying to earn your trust. I'm not ever trying to like get one over on anybody. I have no expectation that the outcome was going to be different. AOC's comments and now this ticker have me sitting here all like, what am I supposed to do with my hands? And Annie's right, because what people may not understand. So maybe we need to revisit this. The electoral college changed. How did the electoral college change after? It's likely to be a much dramatic affair in 24. It was won the election is not contesting results. Democrat Party is expecting the will of the voters this year. 538 exceptions. Okay, I'm gonna hear. So here's what I'm posting. Yes, Voter Reform Act. Here's what I was kind of reading, trying to see if I could get anything out of that. So we'll also look up. Well, because the crime hadn't actually been committed yet. So now that it's been certified, or assuming it's been certified, this bill revises the process of casting and counting. Okay, here you go. To understand, like until the confirmation of this election, no crime's been committed. You share this real quick. Let's go to YouTube, my channel, studio, content, live, stream. Hey, video link. Hashtag live. The Voter Reform Act 2022 and its impact on today's electoral college vote. For AM Club. Anyway. Post the link, and then once that hits, post the link if you would share this. So understand There's just no law that says you can't run for public office. It also says there's no law that says that you can't be president elect. So I get it. It feels like Donald Trump just keeps getting away with shit, and it's just like, hey, snap in, okay? The only reason Jack Smith dismissed without prejudice the the two investigations that he'd done is like he could have just sentenced him. You understand that, right? He could have, instead of dismissing without, and I'm sorry for raising my voice, he could have just dismissed. He could have just went ahead with sentencing. Do you understand? That was the other decision he could have made. And instead he double dismissed without prejudice. Do you understand that that means within a 10-day period he went to the courthouse twice to dismiss those without evidence, those cases against Donald Trump? Do you know why you do that? Do you know why you do that? To clear the jurisdictional runway. You just want to make sure you don't have any active investigations into him before you go back to The Hague. Because again, you know, one of the things that we're talking about is sort of a global cabal, right? There's like a whole gaggle of motherfuckers. Um, so yeah. Yeah, yeah. The only reason you dismiss, uh, double dismiss without prejudice is because you've got greater charges coming. And then also understand that he could be sentenced anytime. And so the thought process is because remember, he's still, what is it? Like, he's still, it has crimes that he's committed in New York that he's due to be sentenced for. And like, as long as he's a citizen, there's nothing he can do about it. So understand, like, he's fucked like 17 ways from Tuesday. And the only way he gets out of it is if they just roll over and give it to him. And, you know, there are people that are just like, yep, he's just going to become president. And it's just like, okay. And let me introduce prosecuting election crimes. Okay. And introduce you to this because a lot of the people that are like, hey, man, I'm worried that he's just going to become president and there will be no accountability and there's nothing that can be done. Okay. Yeah, that's May. That's why I was confused. There was a moment there where I was looking at the screen like, what am I looking at? This is from that second link I posted. I mean, I am a registered Democrat, Logan, if that's the. But I don't have information. I literally am sharing the information with you and just saying, here you go. Yeah. So here's what I'm looking at now in the Hyatt. No, I have no more access than the regular American citizen. Now, what I will say, that maybe I do have that I kind of have to acknowledge is I do have two birdies. I do have two people who shall remain nameless at their request. One is a federal government employee, and one is in media. And their job as an executive is to coordinate multiple news organizations' appearances at public matter, issues of public matter. So, for example, the that person came to me and was like, "Hey, I saw your content on TikTok. I work in media, and I kind of organize the media's appearance at large public affairs. And there was media crawling all over the White House the day Donald Trump went for lunch, for example. And I had kind of purported before, during, right after that lunch at the White House that it wasn't a fucking lunch. I had said it. I'd said it kind of out of pocket. Not because I knew. I just what is the fucking point of having a former president come to the White House for a lunch? Like, what are you gonna do? Give him a tour? Teach him the ropes? He done the shit before. What did you really bring? And again, I know the light bulb's probably clicking for y'all, right? Where you're like, oh, maybe he's right. And there's 19 of you in here, so thank you. Fucking, I'm so glad you're here. Please, uh, drink water. Get 8+ hours of sleep. Take care of yourself first. And like I said, I don't mean to alarm anyone. Um, I don't I don't foresee anything but a certification in Donald Trump's behalf today. However, obviously, we're looking at the Electoral Count Reform and Presidential Transition Improvement Act. Yeah. Yeah. Additionally, the bill identifies each state's governor as responsible for submitting certificate of ascertainment, identifying the state's electors. Further, the bill provides for expedited judicial review for any action brought by an aggrieved presidential or vice presidential candidate arising under the U.S. Constitution or U.S. laws with respect to the issuance or transmission of such a certificate. Hold on. What? So, this is what I'm reading. Hold on. Yeah, so there's 19 people in here. So click on that. Yeah. Logan just said, so what does that bill do? I know, that's what I said, brother. So this is from October 18th, 2022, and I'm not reading all of it. Okay? There's a middle section in here. It starts with additionally. I'm going to read it again. Additionally, the bill identifies each state's governor, unless otherwise identified in the laws or constitution of a state in effect on election day, as responsible for submitting the certificate of ascertainment identifying the state's electors. Further, the bill provides for expedited judicial review for any action brought by an aggrieved presidential or vice presidential candidate arising under the U.S. Constitution or U.S. laws with respect to the issuance or transmission of such a certificate. The bill also revises the presidential transition process, including to one, allow more than one candidate to receive federal transition resources and require additional reporting by the GSA. Okay. The bill identifies each state's governor as responsible for submitting the certificate of ascertainment, identifying the state's electors. So it's the governor's job to send this letter identifying and the electors. The bill provides for expedited judicial review for any action brought by an aggrieved presidential or vice presidential candidate arising under the U.S. Constitution or U.S. laws with respect to the issuance or transmission of such a certificate. So I think it just means that it moves faster if you break the law regarding the issuance or transmission of the certificate. It's like an expedited judicial review. It just seems like it moves a lot faster if you fuck with the transmission of that certificate, right? So if that was their plan, and again, it's just they're just responsible for transmitting the data. So I'm gonna refresh this thing. See, this changed. Okay, this changed. So I don't think it has any impact, Logan. So I think initially when I read it, it made it seem like if the president commits a crime, then it was agreed. But it's like no, with respect to transmitting the letter, the certificate identifying the electors. But yeah, this presidential election vote of electors, it's now says 162 for Trump, 87 for Harris. So that it is updating. Again, I'll let you know if it changes. I do not anticipate that. I think it's in bad form. Okay, it's in bad form to say like I anticipate the outcome of the electoral college will be different than it looked. The 312 226. But again, it's just an expedited judicial review. So it's more cut and dry. If somebody does break the law in regards to the issuance, the transmission of data. But again, like I said, I don't know, man. Here's AOC saying like, sorry, I tried my best. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. So again, like I said, I want to point that out what she said last night. So this is what I'm saying. This from 10:58 last night. Oops, I'm kind of pissed at AP. What's going on? No, my dogs. I work in journalism. AP has been the holy grail forever, right? Why are they taking advantage of that? Politics. Election 2024. Yeah. I mean, they called the election way early. Uh, that's part of what has me thinking like something is in the works. Was the time frames. You know, I I I don't feel like Looney Tunes. Um, my dogs are raising hell. I would do this for a moment. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, and again, when I look at the the I'm on the AP site, by the way. I don't know if I put that up here. I did not. Here. That's where I am right now. That's part of the reason where I'm like, what is going on here? How come there's no uh electoral college sort of like I'm using this 270towin.com, and it has the schedule on it as well. I tell you what, I hate to do that to y'all because I get it. There's like 19 people here. I got to get these dogs out real quick because they don't normally make noise. Savvy? So when they start like whining and shit, it's like I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay live. I'm gonna put a black screen up. I'm gonna run these dogs outside, let them piss, come right back. Okay. So hang in there for just a moment. Okay. I'm gonna go let these dogs out real quick because otherwise they'll pee and shit. You know what I mean? So hang on. All right. So I'm back. So false. Uh, they didn't really have to do anything. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know what we expected today. I hope that my content didn't lead you to believe that there's going to be some miraculous electoral college shift. No. Valerie, I have four dogs. So I have three pit bulls and a German Shepherd. The oldest is about a 6 year old, 6, 7 years old, I think. His name's Shepard, Commander Shepard. It's Mass Effect. And then the German Shepherd is Ernestine, or Ernie. And then I have a pair of mini pits that are brother and sister. And their names are Pam and Ed, like ham and eggs. But it's Pam Beasley, like from The Office. And the other dog is Edmund Kemper. That's his actual name. And the reason we named him Edmund Kemper is because Edmund Kemper was a serial killer. My wife and I used to have a serial killer podcast, and we did the Edmund Kemper episode before we had Edmund Kemper. And Edmund Kemper was a serial killer who would decapitate his victims and fornicate with the neck, like skull fuck. And when Edmund was a little bitty puppy, Edmund would hump like every other male dog you've ever met in your life, but he did it backwards. And so, like, instead of humping their behind, he humped the head. So we called him Edmund. Ed. He's like my buddy. And that's all supposed to be funny. So if there's those of you like that's fucking awful, okay. Uh, yeah, yeah. Executive Order 13848, January 6th, 14th Amendment, Article 3. Yes. Yeah. So, poops like a cow. Totally get it. So, yeah. Like I said, I want to make sure y'all understand that I was under the impression that this shit was getting certified today. And then by the end of the week, they'll announce an investigation. Um, Thanks. Good. I'm glad people like got it. That was some dark fucking shit. Um, yeah, the doing a can you reveal? No, Stace. And again, that wasn't our expectation. I'm actually watching this website right now where they're updating it as they get the information, and I didn't know that you could do that. So I was just expecting, I'm sure, just like anyone else, that this election was just going to get certified 3/12 to 2/26, and then by Friday, right, the 20th. Yeah, by Friday, we should know that these reports have been. Yeah, so I had no idea there was going to be like a live count. Um, yeah, I mean, it's not like they have the choice. And I've been doing more research on that Executive Order 13848. So first of all, it's real. Not that we didn't know that. Okay? Not that we didn't know that. It's real. Yeah, Friday. I'm trying to see if I. One of the things that you have to understand about this shit too. So let me get this out to you. Okay. Um, this, I expect I expect a lot of stuff to happen between now and January 6th. There are a lot of people that are like, hey, what do you think happens Full disclosure, you want me to tell you what I think happens? On January 6th, he gets told you're not fucking eligible. Gasp. Kamala Harris is the fucking you're not fucking eligible. You have to concede. You lost. You're not eligible. You can get all the way to the podium, Don, but you can't actually take the job, brother. So you have to concede on the spot. Puts him on the spot last second. He thought he won, you know. Yeah, yeah. This is, and it's not a matter of like, for the record, uh, Executive Order 13848 failing. That's not gonna fail. That actually fucks up time frames. Brasher can tell you. That's what it felt like for the January Sixers. I don't know. I don't live with that level of anger. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fucking furious that, from my perspective, it appears that the election interference alone, just I hate to always say it's about the racism, but it really is almost always about the racism for me. Um, the calling in of bomb threats to 80 majority black polling places on election day, where they had to be evacuated, the power recycled, like where a lot of potential election fraud happened. That's enough to annul an election. So I know there's people out there like, however is this gonna go? And it's like they acknowledge the bomb threats up front. Brasher said, keep reading that Reform Act. No longer in charge of that. Good, it's mismaterial. Yeah, it makes her job mismaterial. So that's not even what she'll do. Not even her job. But again, that's the same as saying Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are not investigating this election. And it's like, nope, they're running it. Their administration is still in charge. So that's like one of the pieces of content made the other day, right? Where like people were hitting me up and they're like, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris aren't doing anything. And it's like, fuck do you mean? And they are like, well, they've got to know that there was interference and cheating in this election. Right. So, I mean, you got to realize like there are consequences mounting for these people outside of the United States. And then I want to pass this to you as well. Uh, Humda Humza Yousaf to stand down and warns over Elon Musk's UK election threat. Scotland's former First Minister to quit frontline politics and says alarm bells should be ringing over potential Musk interference. He had some corruption. It's fair. It's fair. And by the way, I wondered how many of these countries, Romania, Syria, France, Germany, South Korea, did either the United States have a hand in or the GOP have a hand in helping to dismantle? Right? So the meeting constitutes the violation of the Logan Act, but if I'm the feds, I'm looking for some movement of material, right? I want to see funds or tech or material moved, and then I can act cuz then I've got a crime that happened. But when you're just talking about, you know, Elon Musk met with the Iranian leaders and that violating the Logan Act, you got to have something happen. But yeah, I gotta think that fucking that guy is Elizabeth Warren asks Trump to set conflict of interest rules. God damn. Trying to find a free place for everybody to read it. Trying to see if there's any news on the dude. 1 hour ago. Uh oh, kids. Oh, God. December 17th. New York Times. Okay. Elon, I'll just read it to you. Federal Elon Musk and SpaceX face federal reviews of their violations of security reporting rules. Federal agencies have opened at least 3 reviews into whether the company and its leader complied with disclosure protocols intended to protect state secrets, people with knowledge of the matter said. Elon Musk and his rocket company, SpaceX, have repeatedly failed to comply with federal reporting protocols aimed at protecting state secrets, including by not providing some details of his meetings with foreign leaders, according to people with knowledge of the company and internal documents. Concerns about the reporting practices, and particularly about Mr. Musk, who is serving as SpaceX chief executive, have triggered at least 3 federal reviews, 8 people with knowledge of the efforts said. The Defense Department's Office of Inspector General opened a review into the matter this year, and the Air Force and the Pentagon's office under the Secretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security separately initiated reviews last month. The Air Force also recently denied Mr. Musk a high-level security access, citing potential security risks associated with the billionaire. Several allied nations, including Israel, have also expressed concerns that he could share sensitive data with others, according to defense officials. Let's see what else we can find. That was just from the New York Times. Logan said, "Wait, so Elon is in trouble?" And Brasher replied, "Well, no shit. Like, yes, yes. Yes, he has. Okay, here. Let me see if I can find this image for you. Boo. Hate it. I haven't checked Twitter yet today. So, and again, part of me just expects them two to just implode at any time. Brasher said Trump pissing on Elon and Elon loving it. Now listen. Apparently, they're all fucking sex pests and sexual deviants. And what's crazy is they were supposed to be like the Christian party, right? Remember the Democrats. Just keep this in mind when I was growing up, and I want to be corrected when I'm wrong. Didn't they call the Democrats the fucking sexual deviants and the fucking partiers and the druggies and the hip? Weren't the Democrats the hippies? Wasn't the fucking Democrat, right? Like, wasn't it the fucking Democrats that was like taking corporate interest and shit like that? Um, and now the fucking GOP is all sex pests and fucking drug addicts and drug fueled orgies is the party line. Although I'm starting to feel in the back of my head like I might throw up just thinking about like MTG and Matt Gaetz in the same room sexually. Sorry for everyone involved. Uh, every accusation is a confession. Oh my gosh! Didn't I would say Donald Trump did that shit yesterday, where he accused. Every accusation is a confession. He's suing the pollster, right? For election interference. And it's like you were working with Russia and they called in like 80 fucking bomb threats to majority black polling places. You interfered in the election. You're just projecting. It's like he was getting to that first. But because he thinks it's a possibility the Democrats could annul this election if I get accused of election interference or if election interference comes out. So he wants to make sure he gets out there first and accuses you first of interfering in this election. Inspired House, I said stop. Where? Where? What happened? Difference is they're all about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Senator Schatz on bill abolishing electoral college. In an election, the person who gets the most votes should win. It's that simple. No one's vote should count for more based on where they live. The electoral college is outdated and it's undemocratic. It's time to end it. From the Senate Judiciary Committee. Oh, don't mention MTG and Matt Gaetz in the same room. Yeah, yeah. Why do you think? Why? Okay, so my first thought this morning after it was reported, this shit. Why do you think MTG is a scorned lover? Have y'all not figured this out yet? Um, Matt Gaetz and her are probably like not compatible sexually, but they've crossed that bridge. Let's just say she ravaged him. And none of the none of the Republican men can really give her what she wants. She's a fucking heathen. Which is why she says shit like she's gonna out all the pedophiles. That like she's a scorned lover. She thought she was like prime punani in the fucking Republican Party, and like for the record, Guilfoyle and Kim and Laura Loomer and Kaba, for the record, more palatable to that GOP. And also keep this in mind: Grinder, not a heathen. Grinder crashes at Republican conventions. So it's not like, I've often said, and okay, like, you want to hear me really talk shit about Republicans, okay? Like, they never send their best. Like, have you ever seen a good-looking Republican with an intact frontal cortex? Like, waiting. I figured somebody was gonna hit me up in the chat, and they'd be like, "No, this Republican fucking politician was both pretty and smart," and it's just like, "Oh, that's right." And I could say the same, good looking, just good looking. Show me a good looking, smart Republican. No, I didn't say good Republican. That would fuck it. What? Good looking Republican elected official with the mental chops to keep up with the young, good-looking Democrats. Yeah. Susan said MTG and Gabbard should hook up. God, she's a buzzkill, huh? But yeah. I just want to point out that she said if Matt Gaetz doesn't get confirmed, she's going to out all the pedophiles. And I don't think that happened. I don't think he didn't get confirmed, and she didn't. Judge Merchan is trending on Twitter. Match made in hell. Interesting. That was like a pretty hot topic on social media yesterday. So perhaps that was like something maybe we didn't take very serious. Oh, that's great. Oh, okay. Okay. So I have to out everyone, which was so weird. Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna share this with you guys. So, um, I follow a couple. This guy right here. Okay, is very smart person. This is like a former retired, think like FBI but Canada. Okay. Uh, and think of this as like Jackie Singh, but just constant. Like just constantly outing people who are committing fucking heinous crimes. Okay. But the reason I brought this up is I want to read what they said because I fucking agree, regardless of who they are. And he said, a personal opinion. With the whole world watching the US presidential election, you couldn't pay me enough to either be involved, and no way would I be a legal signatory to anything to do with the certification or acceptance of tabulated votes. Have fun, sign away. Like, I ain't signing that shit. And they were quote tweeting themselves saying, and again, unironically, January 6, 2025 Congress will officially sit and attest the results from the Electoral College. Then that makes every Congress member both a signatory to the election and will either stand and explain irregularities or knowledge of any crime. Once those signatories or objections are placed in the official chain of custody of evidence, use can begin. December 21st is still foreign citizens to simply smile and point. Certified in the states before the IC drops the incriminating report. So, J- Jamie Raskin? No, like he just said that before the election. Like if the voters aren't going to do it, I guess we're just going to have to do it. So I think that's awesome news. You know what I'm saying? Been going for a little over an hour. Again, sorry there wasn't like late breaking news we could fucking talk about. But yeah, this person again, this is foreign intel. I think it's definitely worth a follow. They give me a lot of hope. Um, there's no reason to believe they'd back up off that. I'm also looking at Jackie Singh. Americans aren't used to straight talk, she said. So 1 hour ago, he posted, and once the Electoral College members legally sign their names to the votes, it gets officially passed to the Democrats. Then the Democrats can either accept or show just cause to dispute. And then he tagged, "Are you ready, Kamala, Joe?" Like smirks, like, "Are you all ready for this shit?" That was 1 hour ago. He said, "We shall see what happens with announcements from the Democratic Party and Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Tim Walz on December 20th. The 21st would mean the official 2024 U.S. presidential election is either under legal review or open to scrutiny. A wonderful week in history." Yeah, and I'm telling you, uh, one of the things that I've said is that often, very often, when you're dealing with narcissists and people that aren't very intelligent too, so you might not be a narcissist, okay? You don't necessarily have to be very intelligent either, but projection. Donald Trump suing Ann Seltzer, right, for getting her poll wrong and calling it election interference, it tells me that I think Donald Trump's about to get charged with election interference and he's trying to spin it, right? You know, you can't do anything to me if I accuse you of it first. You're guilty. And you're only accusing me of that because I accused you, right? They're going to gaslight the shit out of you. I'm looking at Senate Judiciary Committee. Yep. So Logan, that was one of my early videos before the election was warning that Project 2025 wants to ban what they consider violent material. Uh, Remember, what's fucking crazy is like they also project and tell you that it's the Democrats that want to take your guns and limit your porn use and whatever. But the reality is Project 2025 actually calls for the ban of, oh, it's immoral material, and they're calling like porn and video games immoral material. And for the record, like a married adult. Porn is a part of my and my wife's sex life. Uh, you, Pornhub is banned in Indiana. For the record, I actually thought that was what was going to cause a violent overthrow of the government was the banning of pornography. Like, can you imagine all these like rapey, incelly dudes already like can't get laid, and now you take away fucking porn? Oh shit. You know what I mean? I'd be John Wicken. You know what I mean? Fortunately, there's like other adult sites. But yeah, and if that wasn't something that you anticipated coming out of an adult's mouth, I'm sorry. Uh, oh shit, that's hilarious. But yeah. and again, you know, we talked about him violating the Emoluments Clause and Citizens for Ethics. They typically are. Yeah, we're gonna. People are saying. Let's look at this executive order. 13.848. Let's see if this is real. Whitehouse.gov. Briefing. No reason to believe that's not real. It's govinfo.gov. National Archives. I'm just like anyone else. Yeah, I don't anticipate that to change. And I think it would be misleading to tell you, you know what I mean? I think it's misleading to tell you that I expect it to change. I don't know. I can't think of any reason why it would do that. Okay? So, just so. Ooh. Ooh. Wrong about what? What are you wrong about, Logan? Tulsi Gabbard's former staffers say she's a Russian asset. Yo, that's tough. Russians burning the faces of dead North Koreans to keep them secret. Yo, that's tough. That's tough. Well, I mean, it's exactly like Barack Obama said. One side of this political spectrum have just decided like rules don't apply to them, and they're just breaking fucking rules, and willy nilly, right? And we're gonna have to talk about it. We're gonna have we're gonna have to fight about this. That one side just breaking fucking rules. The other side, you know, becoming the party of law and order. Kind of have to holding all the nobility flags for the country, right? And saying like we're the party of inclusion. You know, we're the party of most veterans. We're the party of mothers, right? Most moms. We're the party of most minorities. Just holding a lot of big L flags, right? The party is. And remember, I want to make sure I also say this. Regardless of the outcome of this election, just know that mathematically, Kamala Harris won this shit going away. And I would argue that the data hasn't quite been compiled to also fuel my arguments that the Democrats also, I mean, they swept 5 of the swing states down ballot. But the maggots specifically, you know, your Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think Lauren Boebert, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio. I think there was a 4 that had like races and they got maggotized. I'd argue they probably lost their shit too. And again, that's kind of regardless of what happens. But again, I fully expect still right now that January 6th, Donald Trump finds out he's not eligible for office. I would do it as last second as possible. And the rumor is, and the reason I'm thinking about all this shit is because you know how like Donald Trump's inauguration planning is in effect. And the Democrats' plan is make all those reservations so that there's no like, and there are hotels in the Washington D.C. area that are refusing to take them. So because of those pieces of information, like knowing those pieces of information, there's a group of people that are making reservations for that weekend. Um, so I expect a low turnout. Hey, I've been saying that the whole time. The 80 bomb threats called into majority black polling locations on election night is enough to constitute a election interference and annul an election, and we revote. That was part of the reason that I felt like when Kamala Harris went to Hawaii, she met with Army Cyber Command so she could sit down with Army, because you got to realize Army is the biggest branch. They have the most people. So if you're going to implement a system that is going to affect millions of people, you can go to Army Cyber Command and figure out how to roll that out. So they could tell you if they need to send everyone an email, which I don't think you do that. You probably send them a letter in the mail. That's why I've been saying fire to joy, get somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing. They go give a pep talk to all the fucking postal workers and say, hey, this is the election of our lifetime. I don't want any fuckery on my name, right? So having a new election is certainly a possibility. It just kind of depends. It depends what they find as a result of their investigation, or what they found as a result of their investigation. Sorry, because remember on the 20th we're not due a report. By the way, I want to make sure that's clear too. That's why I said the 23rd. By the time you hear something, because again, I can't imagine all these different heads of agencies are using like the same program. What's to say someone doesn't use Microsoft Word and insert Visio Visual Aid for data visualization, as opposed to using PowerPoint and inserting images from Visio, like your data visualization? I think that's Visio. Yeah, that's data visualization. But yeah, so it's one thing for those charts to all be Excel files, that information all to get sent. That's one thing if it's all Excel files. It's another thing if you're trying to explain the crime. So will Trump be stopped? Yeah, I think that there's a million things in his way of becoming president. I, of course, will wonder, when it stops, right? You know, but they'll put it as some pause by the 20th. At some point, you can't. The thing about this is, you can't let Donald Trump take office and expect to hold anyone accountable in the government moving forward at all. So if you aren't gonna do some shit, um, so I think what you mean is pay the consequences, right? like go to jail. You know, the only thing I'll ever say, and it may not help you, it may not help you. You may be like, Jared, it sounds an awful lot like you're making excuses for him. Everything that he's ever done has failed. Every venture. He's paid out hundreds of millions of dollars for all the wrongdoing that he's done. Yeah, he's committed a lot of crime. But when you have a lot of money, you can buy your way out of situations, plead down, plead down, plead down, stall, stall, stall. So I get it. It feels like he's not paying any consequences. But again, I'd say like every fucking business venture's failed. He fucking bankrupted a casino. And he's paid hundreds of millions of dollars out for all those shit he's done, you know? Who can actually pause the whole process? So it's kind of first to the microphone, in my opinion. It's got to be Joe Biden to say, you know, this election's been certified. And you know, before we meet on January 6th, you know, for the last 45 days, we've been conducting an investigation, which all that information was given to me, like I said, on the 20th. I'm imagining. So yeah, we don't know yet, but again, want to make sure everyone knows. So Electoral College count 2024. 270 to win. Electoral College meets Tuesday. See? Look at this shit. It moved. So that 270 win, it shows 197 to 94. Okay. Just so you understand, I fully expect Donald Trump gets it in his. So I don't anticipate. Yep. And for the record, Tundra, and that's who I'm going to refer to this person as, is Tundra on Twitter, is saying the 20th, 21st. Okay. So again, I want to make sure on my show, I vehemently and repeatedly said I'm giving you no indication that the electoral vote is going any other way than we were told. I don't believe that map. It's just hard to believe. Don't believe what map? Yeah, this is just the electoral college. Uh, But I feel like it's important that just reading. It is crazy how fringe this group, you know, Oh, he didn't win that. So it's interesting. What I'm seeing is kind of interesting. Elizabeth Warren is calling on Donald Trump to set some conflict of interest rules with Elon Musk. So she's trying to like get him to be reasonable here before the hammer falls, right? So yeah. And for the record, the way I figure right now, yeah, I don't think he won either. Like Smart Elections put out data yesterday that said Kamala Harris won 5 of the 7 swing states. Did y'all see that yesterday? Let me get that on here. Sorry, I'm trying to look through, find this Smart Elections video from a few days ago where they go through all the. And by the way, tell me this isn't weird. Same government you defeated on November 5th is still in power until January 20th, 2025. Understand this, act accordingly. The fuck does that mean? No kinda inbreadish. What, Lori? What, Lori? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Again, one of the things that is has me holding on hope is that if I was an elected official right now, and I would be a Democrat, right? And I honestly thought like Donald Trump was gonna be the next president, I would be absolutely telling you it's time to uh, enter survival mode. It's gonna be, well, yeah, yeah, because what you're gonna get in the next few days is you're gonna get inundated with people that say that they know what they're talking about, that are gonna say Donald Trump won this election, he won the electoral college, it's over. And again, That's not how this works. You didn't commit crime until the election is certified. Now now that the election's certified, now in the next few days, I expect a conversation to be had publicly with, hey, look, a lot of people have pointed out irregularities in data. We've been investigating for 45 days. We used the smartest people in the world. We took in all the information we could about it. We had multiple people giving us information. I don't know if you saw that today. The DOJ is offering $10 million. That's a lot of money. That's the most I've ever heard for information about Rybar, which apparently like interferes in elections. It's a company. So I think again, hands of justice move slowly. But if I was your fucking elected official and I actually thought Donald Trump was going to be president, I would be shouting it from the mountaintops. You need to protect yourself. You need to prepare. You need to grow a garden, start canning, produce your own power, completely disconnect. You know what I mean? Why? Because I actually believe that he's an existential threat. I actually believe that if he gets elected into office, that's it. That he may never leave and his ilk may never leave. And so you can never let him have power. Do you get what I'm saying? If I am just Joe Blow, I'm not a fucking lawyer. But I think it's fucking clear to me that he's unfit for the fucking job. I think that if the Democrats weren't going to do anything, I'm afraid they'd have to come out and tell you. If there was no actions going to be taken, they'd have to come out and tell you. Keep in mind, I'm still seeing people that are smarter than me claiming things like Executive Order 13848 is a plant and it's not real. So just so you know, I don't believe that, but Jackie Singh does. Jackie Singh thinks nothing's going to happen unless there's an uprising. Now do you kind of understand why Jackie Singh is maybe not working for Kamala Harris this election? Because while she's smart and while she's useful, is she always working in the best interest of national and international security? So I know there's those of you that know that and you didn't want to confront me about it because you're afraid how I would react. But again, do you understand she only worked for that campaign for like 6 fucking months and that otherwise she'd actually been on kind of the outs with the Democratic Party? So remember, one of the things that I learned recently is that 250 countries monitor our election. That a month before the election, Joe Biden and a bunch of 3 and 4 letter agencies put out a notice to the public and said, hey, we're worried about Russian interference into our election. And then, so I just work with them because she's an extremist. Like, she literally can't keep a fucking social media profile on fucking Twitter, fucking Blue Sky. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me when I'm lying. Tell me, Jared, you didn't tell us. That doesn't make her not credible. She's volatile. Anybody with behavioral volatility is going to be professionally volatile. I didn't say everything she says is true. She's, you know what I mean? Her exposing someone on the inner circle of the Musk circle, okay? Like I said, that's the story of the year. But she's also allowed to be people. Humans are fallible. Y'all got to realize that. Is people can be super smart and right, and they can just be fucking wrong about some shit. They can just get some bad intel. You can be the smartest person in the world, and if you aren't really fucking good at figuring out where your information's coming from, You could just not, like, there's a reason people are running around chopping her down and saying she doesn't have any credibility. And then there's me, I'm sharing the content that she shared. I read that to my fucking chat. I saw the images. I went and looked at his profile and corroborated most of her work was his shit was still on his page that he fucking deleted within 24 hours. So I don't think you delete your fucking social media profile when, you know what I mean? If you're innocent and that shit's not real. And I was able to go, what's his screen name? Type in his screen name, go to his profile, verify. He's doing what she said he was doing and took pictures of his shit. So her work, I could verify that work. Uh-huh. I actually did that for the record. I went to make sure that person exists, that profile exists, that information exists. Savvy. Within 24 hours, he deleted everything prior to November 30th. I went back and fucking looked, and within 24 hours, the shit that she had fucking dredged up on him and fucking posted on the fucking internet. May. I went to his page to verify that he was doing what she accused him of doing. And within 24 hours, that was removed from his page. So, yes, the accusations that she made were not baseless. Nope, she posted all the evidence too. And it's still up. It's not like it got taken down. But he deleted his fucking. Chaos. Yeah, she's not always correct. Yep, I'm not going to always be right. You know, the difference is that I want to be accountable. Right? I want people to tell me that my views are wrong. You know, like I had someone today, and I didn't catch it when because I always listen to my work before I post it. Okay, and I'm sure we're at like an hour and a half, right? Yeah, hour 42. We're good. Okay, we'll close with this or whatever. Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, I'm glad we were. Fuck, I wanted to get that thought out. Forgot what I was saying. Are y'all still here? Yeah, there's 19 people here. What was I fucking talking about? But yeah, I was gonna find the where was the here you go, here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Y'all need to watch this video. And sit with it. Okay? And I say that a lot of people when people say sit with it, they mean it in a derogatory fashion. But watch that video. That's from Smart Elections. Okay? Uh yeah, I listen to my work before posting it. And thank you. That's why fucking you got people like Maru and Dakota and all them watching over my shoulder. Um, I listen to my content because I want to make sure I'm not stepping on any fucking toes, right? Saying something fucked up. And somebody checked me on my fucking post earlier and said use and I listened for it, and I didn't get. I think I got deep enough in my own content to even find it. So for the record, the person that called me out is an ardent supporter that listens to all of my content all the way through to the end. And apparently, I made a comment about AOC being a fucking college cheerleader, and I can assure you that the way it was interpreted is not the way I meant it. But rather than getting defensive, I'm just going to take accountability and be like, "You're right. I'm sorry. I don't habitually make comments like that. I'm usually more self-aware. Occasionally, I'm going to make fucking mistakes. I am fucking fallible. Is this one of those times? No. I don't think what I did was derogatory. However, uh it is not I cannot control what happens to me. I can only control my reaction to it. And so I choose to, especially as someone that has to lead other men, right? I choose to apologize, acknowledge, take accountability. They're going to feel some type of way for a while, probably regardless as to how I behave. But if I acknowledge, I acknowledge what you're saying and I apologize. That's not ever how I would want my words to be construed as sexist, right? I advocate pretty hard for not being a fucking bigot. I'm also not going to lay down and take it. So understand, it's not apologize, I'll do better to every fucking accusation that comes your way. You know, I kind of told my wife, for the record, just so that I've also told my mostly female audience. Um, I always wanted to be like private. You know, I was gonna do whatever I was gonna do and just not fucking talk about it. And like I said, that fucking Klan rally at Madison Square Garden fired me the fuck up, and that's how I ended up here, or how I ended up on TikTok. Okay, I think that um, when you are especially young in community building, and someone has the nerve to stand up and say, "Hey, this specific part of your speech there, I'm not cool with." It gives me an opportunity to like potentially earn their respect by saying like, "Hey, I apologize. You know, I'm not arguing with anyone ever. I just assume delete you." Well, that's probably why I need to apologize, is because it doesn't make sense. So if it had been a completely coherent thought that passes every form of logic and there was no way that can be construed as sexism, then I don't think someone would have said something. But I think that you do more damage trying to play defense, what May said. So I'm just gonna level and say like I can empathize with that. My apologies. I'll work on not making those references. Oh fuck. Yeah, yeah. So make sure you watch that video from Harris Five Swing States Smart Election Data. I think it was always gonna go this way though. Yeah, yeah. I mean, from moment one, yeah, it was gonna be a very tense. The reason I'm here with you, it's gonna be a wild ride. So hey, let me get out of here. I of course appreciate y'all. Like I said, we were gonna try to do 90-minute windows, and we blown through that twice today. So take care of yourselves. Like I said, drink water, touch grass, get out and move around. For the record, I'm yeah. So like I said, we're in. You know, I don't think it's actually been said. We're in uncharted water. People aren't gonna like hearing that. They're gonna feel like, what are we what are we supposed to do? But the reality of the situation is that the Constitution's very fucking rigid. Actually, yeah. There's data that backs up he cheated, and that's before Logan. They let him win. They let him win. They conceded early and fast, and by the book concession speeches. Although I'll remember Kamala Harris said fight 18 fucking times in her concession speech. So she may have conceded, but she said fight like 18 times. And then, like I said, I feel like every day since then, it's just been a domino effect. And it doesn't feel like it. And it's slow moving at times. And again, today, with this electoral college shit, I thought for sure that this would be like a boring ride. Yep, we're in a psychological warfare, information warfare, right? Yep, they had to let him think he won. They got to certify the election. That sort of completes the crime. But like I said, we're not dealing with serious people. By the way, I'm going to close the show, but make sure that you look up this and sleep like a baby tonight. Okay? I'll try to get you a link. Spotlight on the Shadow War. Sending melatonin things, shoot. Hey, giving you plenty to read, plenty of stuff to give you confidence. Okay, all the evidence in the world's right in front of us. Okay, and I've said constantly, one of the things you're going to keep hearing me saying, much smarter people than you or I, no offense, because y'all are some smart motherfuckers. Okay, people much smarter than you and I are privy to the same and more information than we are ever privy to. Savvy? So every time you think you've like stumbled onto some shit, dude, a whole team of fucking people's been on that for a week. Okay? Because I empathize. I can't imagine being somebody that don't look like me. Right? You gotta understand, like I've said, I'm a white cis male. I am the black sheep to all the other white men I know for being like a soft fucking lib. Just because I'm like try to use my fucking brain and facts and logic and have a basic understanding of math and civics, right? I thought that said hatred. I just want to point that out. I thought that said hatred. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of your day. And like I said, we'll get together soon.